Hello! I'm Evan Dade, a young adult librarian, here with another Fandom Friday, where one of the Rogers Public Library staff shares something that they are a fan of. Well, it's Halloween, so I thought I'd share a couple of spooky books from the young adult section that you might find interesting if you're so inclined. My first book is Singularity by William Sleater, a science fiction book. As you can see, both these books are very short. I want something that's pretty digestible, right? Anyway, Singularity by William Sleater. Harry and Barry are twins, and they are house sitting for their uncle who just died. And on their uncle's property, they find a house, a smaller house, I should say, that has some very strange properties to it. When they go inside the house, time moves much faster on the inside than on the outside. That is to say, on the outside, only a few minutes might go by, but on the inside, hours and hours, or perhaps even days might go by. You could spend, who knows, maybe even an entire year there just in a couple of hours. There's a lot of really cool things, obviously, you could do with something like that. However, there appears to be a portal to another world that is causing this strange time distortion there. And stuff keeps coming out of this world. They don't really understand what it is, but something is coming out of this portal to another world. And as they go into the house, there's a sink there, and they look into the sink, and in the water, there is something coming out slowly toward their world. Something looking rather nasty, something very mean looking. What's it going to do when it gets there? How long is it going to take to get there? They don't know. But what really makes this even a little dark as a scary story, though, is Harry and Barry, as twins, don't necessarily get along. Barry is very athletic and aggressive. Harry is not. He ends up getting picked on by his twin, like he's the little brother, and he resents that. And he starts to contemplate making a choice that will change everything. I won't spoil anything else, but I find the science fiction aspect of this to be quite interesting. So again, Singularity by William Sleater, if you so are inclined. Coraline by Neil Gaiman. This is probably familiar to a lot of you, especially if you've been watching the movies. And I could have chosen a lot of Neil Gaiman books for this story, but I have a special place for Coraline. It's interesting. It's contemplative. And if you've only watched the movie, I must insist, the book is its own thing. There's enough differences to make it worth reading apart from it. Coraline has moved into a new house with her parents, and she's rather bored. She finds a portal and a hole in the house that leads to another world, sort of a parallel world to hers, where there's different versions of everything that's in her world, including what she calls her other mother, who is just like her mother, except she gives her like all sorts of wonderful food and lets her do whatever she wants and seems to wait on hand and foot for her. But she does have these black buttons for eyes. In fact, everybody there seems to have black buttons for eyes. It's a very slightly unnerving feature, but hey, everything else about that new world is great, right? Well, sometimes when things seem too good to be true, they might be. Anyway, Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I ended up thinking quite a bit about this afterwards. It was a very thoughtful book, I thought, too, in addition to being very, very creepy even as an adult, for sure. Anyway, those are just a couple of reads, a very short video this week. I hope you all have a very safe weekend, however you have it, and I'll see you next week with another Fandom Friday.